Hey guys, Blackout Bill here with another motor. We are cranking them out. We're getting them left and right, and we're fixing them left and right, and I'm having a ball. So before I show you the next one, please subscribe, and we're going to get it out of the way. Let's get to 1,000. Thank you, blah, 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 like, blah, blah, who cares? Anyway, let's check out the next motor in Blackout Bill's Fix-It train. Woo, woo! That's an awful catchphrase. And here we have another 1968. This one's a Johnson. The last one was an Evinrude. Weird the way the 68s are just flying through here. But pick this up. Wants us to check it out and fix it if we can. And we're on a hot streak, so let's see what we got. So we got a little bit of a whoop, 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 whoop. We got a needle with no knob, and you can see the grooves are gone, so a traditional knob might not work, but I have an idea for that. Stay tuned. I got an idea there. And our throttle is stuck. I get a lot of stuck pieces lately. But we will check that out. So we'll check our stuck throttle, and it's an ugly painted motor, but it looks to be in pretty good shape. I mean, yeah, no. If they ain't running, they've been neglected. Again, New Jersey, what are you going to do? We don't have much time. Anyway, flaky paint, overheated at one point. We're not even concerned with that yet. We obviously will be. And pull start works. I haven't tested for spark. I forget if he said if it had spark or not. I think they said this one kind of sat. I don't really remember the backstory on it, but everything moves. That's a huge plus. It spins, it cranks. You know, we'll check for compression. We'll see if we can get this one running. The plugs look a lot better than the last couple motors I've been working on. Fuel pump looks pretty good. Looks like I got a couple new fuel lines here. So we are working with somewhat of a better-ish condition motor than I'm used to. Of course, if I bought it, it would be in the worst shape going. So let's pop this flywheel off. See if we can do the old school way. Here's the I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to break my motor way. Close your eyes if you're a stickler for shit. I wasn't. Oh wait. Even I don't like to mess. Even I don't like to start and fail before I get going. Put your starter nut on there so we don't ruin some threads, because that's a pain in the balls. Okay, now y'all can close your eyes if you're finicky about this kind of stuff. Now, it might be stuck because it's been sitting. Or it may just come off. I have the puller. Y'all seen the puller. Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy, girl. I have the right tools. It's like a 10-minute setup job for the puller. I got out of here. Hey-oo. Clean. Clean. We took this off so that we can see our... Oh, that's what I wanted. Another stuck throttle, but as we can see here, it ain't stuck at the top. That's literally what I was checking for, because I couldn't really grab it underneath. So now that I know it has nothing to do with the top, it has to do with our throttle gear. Yeah, so here's where we're stuck. Throttle spins here, and it wants to move here, but it's this throttle cam gear. I have one in my basement. It's just locked up. You can see the grease. You should be able to see the grease there. Spinning up here. And you can see because there's play, there's a little bit of play there. That's actually something we can address. You might probably recommend it to pull this gear off, because that's a lot of play. But what I've done in the past is I've stuck washers in there. That's a lot of space there. Stick a little bit of a shim in there, and that will tighten this piece up, and then we can worry about that at a later date. But I'm going to have to pop this off just so that I can get this gear out and free it up, because it is glued in there. Are you okay? Y'all ever have that moment of panic where you're working on something and you know your kids are out and you just hear that loud boom, and then instead of running to this noise, you just kind of sit there and wait and listen for that. That's what happened to me just now. But everybody's okay. Whew. I'm wondering if there's any parents out there going, oh God, how many times did I work on motors and you just heard the bang? Anyway, back to the motors. So yeah, so when the gears are apart, you have to replace something. And these older motors, a lot of people will throw the handle up and then spin it by whatever reason, and then you lose the synchronicity of the gears. So you're never supposed to spin it with it up. You keep it down and everything's fine. But in the case of this handle, this got so stuck, they forced it and they broke the gears apart and they fixed the thing, and long story short, the whole handle's shot. So I happen to have the Sea King. If y'all remember the video of the Sea King, let's see if I can post it now. And because I broke the block on it, I saved all the parts to it. So I got the handle that's pretty much identical. Let's see if we can put that handle on this and fix the problem. Quick side note, I didn't really know how to get this handle off either. Undo the screw here. Oh, no, that's what it is. I'm an idiot. You undo the screw here, and there's two pieces here. I actually tried to spread it and pop it off like this. That's wrong. You're gonna break the handle. Take the handle off, and then this whole set. It's two whole pieces. It's not a single piece. That's how you get this handle off. Okay, once you get your little fast, slow start clip here, there is one more bolt. Little flathead and a nut. I actually forgot all about it. I haven't done a handle in a million years. Or actually once. I've done a handle once. But it's two pieces, so don't force it apart. You're gonna be mad when it comes apart after you break it. There's two. There's two! See guys, we're learning as we go here. There was two nuts and bolts. Screw. There's two. Now we can pop it apart and see how bad this repair was done. Oh, I see what's going on. So, whoever tried to fix it, I guess tried to create separation and pull this piece further to get the gears closer together so that they would mesh better. I don't know, that's what I'm thinking. This thing's all messed up. Let's just slide the handle from the Sea King on and see if that does it. Okay, so what we ended up doing was installing our Sea King handle backwards. Because it was just easier than getting that rod out. So the screw's on this side as opposed to the opposite side. Now, what we also had to do was, instead of the original Sea King handle wouldn't reach for some reason, I had to use a handle off my 55 or 50-something 5.5 that I didn't get a chance to get running yet. So I'll have to find a new handle for my motor, assuming this gentleman takes my handle, because that was a lot of money on eBay if I decided to order it. So now that we got the handle and the throttle, it's still tight. It's still tight, but it's right. It's tight, but it's right. So the gears in there are still tight, but they're meshed together and everything is working quite nicely. So what we're ending up doing now that we got a throttle and we have a functioning virtual motor, we're going to check our points because everything looks new. So we'll just clean the points up and adjust them. See if we get some spark. I actually started to pull off the cover for the thermostat, and we'll see how that looks as well. We quick cleaned and adjusted the points. Didn't even test for compression yet. It's got Autolite spark plugs in there, but never use the cheap Autolites. Always go Champion because they're just as cheap, if not a little bit more expensive. But these motors love that Champion plug for whatever reason. And we checked our needle. It was not 1.5 turns out. It was only about a half a turn out. So we adjusted that. So it's 1.5 out. There's no handle here. We'll fix that knob in a second. Cleaned the points up real good. Checked for spark. Only had spark in one cylinder. Repopped the flywheel off. Cleaned the top cylinder because the top cylinder was one that wasn't sparking. Cleaned those points again. And now I'm getting spark in both cylinders. So we hooked up a fuel line. We're adding some water now. Let's see if she starts. And hopefully pumps water. We quick choke, throttle, go. 6 horsepower, I choose you. Sorry for the high-pitched laugh. 1 pull, come on, you're kidding me. 2 pulls, 3 pulls, oh! Come on, water, come on, water. Okay, no water. But she lives! Those are my big thumbs that are actually tiny. I got baby hands. All right. 6 horsepower runs. Not pumping water. What are you going to do? Lower units got to come off. Let's get this water pump changed. And we'll show you the next step in reviving another old outboard. So what we did was we threw together another old style pump just to see if we'll pump water. And somebody commented on my last video, if you're not pumping water, to pop your thermostat housing off just to make sure it's not gummed up or the thermostat's blocked and all that other stuff. So I did that with this motor just to check, and this orifice here was all plugged up with white salt crystals. So thank God I popped this off. There was no thermostat in it, of course, but thank God I popped this off. I was able to clear that passageway with a screwdriver and some compressed air. See all the white coming out of there? There's a good chance that there's salt all up in the block, blocking the passages to the head too. So I'm going to keep spraying it with compressed air just to clean it out as much as possible. We'll put the cap back on and then we'll see if it pumps water now. The reason I say it's a good thing I popped the cap off is because I got a brand new water pump kit coming. So it would be a real shame to put a brand new water pump kit in only to be blocked. And that's why you got to flush these motors out if you're using them in salt water. Put the choke back in. Still not pumping.
This what?
Still not pumping, so... Alright, good. We're wrong. No, rev it. I was gonna say,
Oh,
give
sorry.
it a couple, like,
Okay.
hard. Put it back to a little bit more throttle.
More.
Trying to keep the block cold. Got water coming out there. Oh, there you go. Right to the pickup tube. Oh, I know for a fact that's okay. Let's see if this hole goes. That's clear. Coming out more than before. It's not coming out the exhaust. You know, I blew that one hole here. And that went right to the pickups. Now the pickups are supposed to go up, push it up that way, and then back in and down. But no water's coming up that way. So because no water's coming up this one, it's coming up this one, and it's not coming up the other one, that tells me that the pump is not working right. So I'll be able to verify that when I put a brand new pump system, which is on the way. I do not like me motor. Wrong way. Thermostat housing's not hot. The block is toasty. So we're not pumping water. We're gonna check It could be my pump. It should be my pump. Could be a blocked passageway still, but let's put the brand new impeller kit in it and go from there. Okay, my little outboard prodigies, you know the deal. You should be good at this by now. 68, got the 4 bolts. Lower unit should slip down. When it does, reveal your shift linkage. You might have to shift it forward or reverse. Yeah, so reverse in this case. And that'll push it down just a little more. There she is. You can't see her. There she is. Shift linkage right here. 3/8 bolt or a slotted screwdriver. Let's undo that linkage. Get the lower unit to drop. Alright, and for some reason I get that orange hue with this light again. I'm trying to get that orange out of there, but it's just the basement and the backlighting. There's without the orange. Y'all tell me what you like better down below. If it looks better bright and orange or not so bright. Here, let's change the ISO. Yeah, I can increase it here. I don't like the orange look of it. So, okay, so here's the lower unit, and there's our pump housing, which again, is so weird. I don't know if it's just because I'm starting to get either the hang of this or just the regular. I'm starting to see the same thing over and over again. But we got another plastic housing, same year. So maybe they switched it to the plastic in this year, and same cracked spot. And look at the grommet, just like the other one. It's bent in the one spot. It's like people don't know how to aim water tubes. So it's either not pumping water for that simple reason of the grommet. It's either not pumping water just because the housing's cracked, or the impeller can still be bad. But all you need is one thing. So even if I fix the grommet and the impeller looks good, it's just better. It's just better for everyone if we just put a new housing, impeller, and new grommet in there. And then this puppy will pump water, and we'll get her back on the water. Alright, let's check out and see what this impeller looks like. One bolt had a lot of salt corrosion on it. The rest of them weren't so bad. And you remember my last video, I must have said it 100 times. I started to laugh. I was going to edit it out, but I didn't. They're 5/16 bolts, if you didn't pick up on that. So let's see how good our impeller looks. Oh, there's water inside it. Oh, okay. There's a roll pin up there for some weird reason. And there's our impeller. You can't see that. There's the impeller. So, looking at it, fins are bent per usual, but nothing's broken or seared off like the last one. Now this one's like flat bent. So, my assessment is that it's probably had to do with the cracked pump housing and the grommet. That bent grommet will ruin your life. You know, if you don't put that water tube in and it doesn't seal right, you ain't getting nothing done. So, we'll pop that grommet out. Alright, so yeah, this grommet here, that bent tip is, like I said, it'll ruin your life. So, you take your ears and pop it out. I literally just, one weird, actually, yeah. Yeah, it's literally what happened. It's literally folded in and crushed. So, you're not going to get a seal that way, and water might come up, but it won't be as strong, and it might not hit the power head. It might be hitting the power head, but not going through it and coming out the other end. So, I don't think I'm going to reuse this housing. I just want to pull the grommet out just to see it. Yeah. And it's cut. It's no bueno. No good. No good, man. No good. So, we're going to get that roll pin out, take this housing out. This lower unit looks to be cracked. Right there. See that? I think, I'm not sure. It definitely feels like it. It's cracked. So what happens is, you run it in the water and then you store it either on the boat outside, or you take the lower unit, you put it in a shed, and then, you know, in the winter, ice builds up and pop. Especially if you got a nice, well-sealed lower unit. So let's see if he wants to restore this one. Next up on the agenda, we're going to reseal our gear case for the 6 horsepower using an old 5 horsepower, 3 horsepower. I think this was a Sea King, but it's the same design. I think this one had the shock absorber, but the newer designs took away the shock absorber, just added a longer drive shaft. But we did get our new plate in the mail, so it's yucky. We're going to clean it up with the wire wheel. Alright, what I do is again, it'd be nice if you had an angled screwdriver, but I stick a screwdriver in there at an angle. I hold it real tight with my hands. It actually kind of hurts, so I got a glove on. And then I bang it, and I work it all the way around until that seal comes out. It takes a little bit of time. The seal puller might be a better use, But this method is just easy, quick, easy. I don't set the seal puller up, and I know I'm not going to damage the plate because I'm only using my hands. And then eventually it'll just kind of that seal back out of there. This is literally what I do. A lot of times this screwdriver will poke a hole right through the metal. So you can keep doing that a couple hundred times, a couple different, all around it, and it will either just break apart, it'll break apart at the very least. So. And boom. So it comes out. Now let's clean that up. Oh yeah, by the way, you didn't get to see the plate all cleaned up. Shining nice. See that? Wire wheel's amazing. Alright, so let's get this seal fitted in there. That bearing plate's a real pain because it barely comes out unbroken from the motor. And then if you can get it out broken, then it's hard to get the seal out. And then it's a tricky monster. This looks to be like a prop seal. It looks to be a smidge too big there. Big ID seal for the prop. Skeg. Here we go. This guy looks perfect. Nope. So that's the little seal I assumed fit in there. So I guess not every plate is made different. Now this bigger one, it looks tight. This is your O-ring for your prop shaft. And that rubber O-ring should be your shipment. And then it's going to come with a shift shaft seal. That's just a big fat rubber O-ring. And that's it. So let me check my other kit. It's the same kit number, so I just want to see what that bigger seal looks like in there. Okay, so the other kit's also got that little one that doesn't fit. And it's got that bigger one that looks like the same seal, so alright, we're gonna mash that in there. I don't like mashing stuff. Doesn't even look like it fits, to be honest with you. Okay, fun time reference. If your kit comes with an O-ring that looks too big, don't force it. Now, fortunately for me, I have another kit. Alright, here's the part number in this one, 87604. And it's obviously aftermarket, and I must have put a lot of seals in it, so hopefully this comes with it. This seal looks, I just recognized it to be one of the more original ones. That fits better. It's definitely got a smaller diameter than this one. It's a little bit smaller. So the seal kit that comes will fit your small 6 horsepower outboard most likely, because there's the little seal in the other plate. Now this plate, this seal is bigger than the one I just showed you, but the small one that fits in this plate is too small. So digging through my parts bin, I just happen to have the right seal. I can just tell right now that that's accurate. So just, like I said, if it's just something ain't right, don't force it. But don't be afraid of the seals. I mean, they're tricky and they can be frustrating, but they ain't bad. And that seal installer tool is also wrong. So we're going to go with a socket hammer method. I like to force it on my hand first. This one's a little bit tighter than most. And I believe the last time I did this, I really struggled. Because I'm a stickler for it going in even. But this one went right. And especially with this plate thing. I do not want to break this plate. Oh my god, it's so freaking expensive. Alright, but that's nice. There's a nice solid seal in there. So the shift rod bushing is in already with the O-ring underneath it. And then your gasket's going to go on this surface. Like so. And then your plate is going to go on top of that. Alright, let's get it coated with my coating of choice. Okay, we're going to run with Old Faithful sealing compound on the gasket. So our plate's installed. Am I recording? I am. Plate's installed. Now, water pump time. And this is the water pump I picked up. 763-758. It should fit most of your motors. Now, like I said, this is a different gear case going on a different motor. But if you buy any one of these, 7.5, 5.5, sometimes the 3 horsepowers, and around that type. So the kit's gonna come with all kinds of fun stuff. I remember where a plate being on this sucker. And I bought the new style kit. I like the older style, but it was not my decision, so we're gonna run with the newer kit. Do not tighten the plastic too much. These keep breaking. Every time I pull them off, something's broken. Okay, after much deliberating, we're gonna run. This is how we're gonna do the new kit. Now, there's technically not a video. I mean, there probably is. I couldn't find it. I didn't look long, but I did spend the last 20 minutes trying to look for one. How to actually install this new style on. Now, for the 15s and the 9.9s, yes, but not the 6 horsepowers, where you go from this type housing to the plastic. Okay, so show you what I'm going to do. So we got our plate is resting on the gasket sealing compound on that. Then our plate. Okay, what I'd like to do is put a thin layer of, we're going to use the number 2 again. Permatex, it's the black stuff. I'm going to just do a thin layer, nothing nuts. It's supposed to be a bead, but I don't have the adapter on the bottle to install it. And I think I saw one of the other channels had a cool little like spray nozzle almost. And you could probably do this prior to installing the plate, probably a little bit smarter. And I'm not going crazy. I mean the thinnest of beads, because I don't want water being blocked. That's good. That's perfect. That's what I'm going for. You guys don't forget too. I mean, there's a manual. You can do everything to the key, to the actual like specs. But you can use your better judgment. Just use some common sense. If you like it, it'll work. You don't even need this stuff. I think it'll work dry just fine. So that's what I want to do there. I want to get that grease out of that little channel here. It's not grease, it's gasket, so I don't want rubber impeding any water. Alright. And we're going to put our plate on top of that. And the little tab sticks up. I wanted to research that as well. So this side up is with the tab up. Then we're going to put our gasket. Now it comes with a second gasket. I wasn't sure if this gasket goes on top or on bottom, because I've never seen a wear plate gasket on top. But there is a gasket in between the housing. And it didn't line up with the plate, so that's why I was confused. So this, we're going to put gasket sealing compound on. If I'm thinking out loud here, you could not coat it in the sealing compound and instead put some more RTV around the edges of the water pump housing. Kind of like I did on the bottom of that plate. That would also be a way to go. I think, and I'll tell you what, if I get another one, maybe I'll do that next time, and we'll see if functionality is changing. It's not gonna, it's still gonna pump water. This way. It can only go one way. There's a little tab, trim tab on the plate, which fits into the hole. I'm just looking at stuff now. Didn't look like it lined up, but it does. Didn't look like it lined up with the pump when I put it on the backside of the pump. But in any case, it's got to go that way because there's no other way. It could go. You could fit it, force it the other way, but that'd be stupid. Now, with that in place, I want to put in our drive shaft pin. I think they've changed it so that it needs a little bit more force to get in so it doesn't fall out so easily. Yeah, it's got some grooves on it, on the pin, so that they don't just slide out and everybody gets mad that you're losing your pins, but the kit's come with a new pin. Whatever. And that's that. Now, we have to install our cup into the housing instead of moving the camera. Y'all to see that. Probably just slides in. It does. It just slides in, and then we're gonna coat the back of that with gasket sealed cap. Can't be. Careful again not to block that weep hole, the hole in the cup there. You do not want to block that. Now, for the 900th time, I do not put dish soap in there. You can put dish soap in there, do what you want. Actually, I believe one of the Evinrude videos I watched told you to put dish soap in there so that what happens is the dish soap washes away with water. I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, that's smart. So if Evinrude's saying to do it, yeah, then do it. And then I'm putting gasket sealing compound on the rubber piece because it's been done before, and I never did it before, and I just to see if it pumps water any better. This motor does have a water pumping problem. I've had 2 different impellers in there and it didn't work. So this new kit, if it doesn't work, we're gonna have to check the block for passage obstructions. And since that was one of the issues, I want to make sure this one is sealed and working properly. So our cup is in the housing and our rubber grommet is in the housing. Now we can slide our impeller, this better be the right one, onto the shaft. Okay, where your key is. That's weird. It's so weird that the impeller is, never mind, ignore me. So, then we put our housing here, and it's gonna go like this. The little groove in the plate lines up with that, and then I just push the housing on as I spin the drive shaft. It slides right on. I've never had a problem with it. You can use, again, if you want to use dish soap, use fucking dish soap. It's your discretion, y'all. Like that, I can just feel it. Like I want to over tighten this thing. I feel it in my bones. I'm not doing it. It's tight, it's flush, it looks flush. I'm happy with it. Water impeller seems to be spinning. Okay, here's what I suggest. If you have, I mean this camera, don't move it, Bill. If you have this water pump housing, or this design where it's got the key and the clip in, don't install your water pump, install your drive shaft in, put your pinion gear and your key and your clip in first, because you're gonna have to hammer on it. This way you can put the drive shaft on something upside down, and then you'll be able to back, because I had to hammer the pinion on, it was tight. So when you hammer it on, you're gonna want resistance here, and the water pump is, you know, it's like in the way. So I would install the drive shaft first, or at least the pinion gear on the bottom, and then play with your drive shaft and install your water pump. But in any case, we're installed. It looks great. We have to now reseal the bottom end of the gear case, put the gears back together. Once your gear case is reassembled and you install your prop shaft seal, you can throw your new rubber O-ring over it. Next you need your shift cradle. And you can lube these up with some fresh oil if you don't have it. This was already, you know, it already had oil in it and everything, so everything is still kind of lubricated. And put your shift cradle, dog cradle thing back in. Make sure my thrust washers are still in place. They are. That's really it. And that's how she looks all cleaned up and nice and pretty. Quick wire wheel. Quick wire wheel. Next, Now I happen to have the spaghetti seal, which I resealed my lower unit, because this is my lower unit on this man's motor, and I had already resealed it. So I have a spaghetti seal already cut and ready to go that we're going to use because it's easier that way. And it's still fresh. Still fresh as a daisy. I'm going to use 3M on this guy. 847. That's going to go in the skeg to hold it in place. It's tacky and sticky and nasty. Right in here in the groove, and we'll put our spaghetti seal in. Oh, wrong plate. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. Pivot pin and gasket comes with the kit. Yeah. Pivot pin and little rubber O-ring that comes with the kit. Put that on and align your shift. Put your, before you button everything down, put your shift pin in the hole. Make sure it lines up with the cradle, and I can see it. It's not as difficult as everybody says. And if it doesn't go in, see, it goes in. You just force it. It's a rounded kind of screw. It works quite nicely. Six horsepower. Didn't run. Wasn't pumping water. Clean adjusted points. Put a old style water pump in it. Wouldn't pump water. Blew some of the passages out. Checked the thermostat. Thermostat wasn't there. But still, water was not pumping. Should have been pumping. So we ordered a brand new kit. Plastic. Installed it. Not expecting the best because my kit, my old style should have worked. Let us pray. I'm just kidding. Alright, so let's get this motor started. Let's see if she works. Okay. And action. So, what did we do? We fixed the handle. Gears, handle. I'd like to find the knob for this. The original's not going to work. We didn't do shit to the carb. The carb was already clean. Well, I didn't clean the carb, but the carb, I didn't need it. I just cleaned and adjusted the points. What do we got? We know she runs. Wrong button. Okay. Oh, the test. Oh God, please pump water. Oh! Let's go! Let's get it, boys! Nice! Oh, she's pumping water, thank goodness. I was worried these patches were all clogged up. The new kit did it! A new kit and a good install. Ooh, she sounds pretty. Putting along. Oh, that is awesome. What a nice water flow. Now, we did reseal this gear case, so let's make sure she functions right. Here's forward. Of course, I got to do four things at once. Throttle, idle, and camera. That's alright. That's alright. She's pumping water. Let's go. Alright. I can't even touch the joint. Forward. Still pumping water good? Throttle's sticky, so it's hard to Regulate it. Here's neutral. Here's reverse. Oh, she looks good, buddy. 6 horsepower, back to life. 1960. I think this one was. One of them was supposed to be a 68, it was a 69. I think that was that one. 68 or 69, 6 horsepower. Pumping water, running again. Oh man, she looks good. Guys, this is getting too easy. It's getting too easy. I didn't say that out loud. This back on the water. Let's get more videos on the water. Thank you for 800. We'll see you at 9 in 1,000. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for enduring me. We will see you in the next video. Sub up.